going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today is sort of a recap video on what I've done on the 86 over the past several weeks. So as you guys know, I have the coilovers on, got the fitment dialed a couple days ago, and I just got it aligned today. So I figured I would show you guys everything I have installed. So I was able to install the Blocks Racing lower control arms as well as the cardboard end links, so I'll show you guys that. But we also have a new front lip for the car, as you can kind of see in the frame. I decided to go with an eBay lip for now. I figured probably won't be able to get the JDM lip I want this year at all, so I might just wait till next year to order that. But as a temporary lip, I'm gonna run this eBay CS style lip. It actually looks really good, so I'm gonna have to fit that up and show you guys that. But another thing that's on the car, and if you don't follow me on Instagram, you might not know this, but I did end up throwing my TEs on the 86 just for now. I mean, I'm waiting on the new wheels still, so I figured since they're the same spec as these wheels, I would try to get the fitment dialed, get it aligned where I want it, and then once the new wheels arrive, it should just be direct bolts on, no need to adjust anything. So yeah, I'll show you guys all that in this video, but let's first start off with the lip. Already went ahead and unboxed the lip. This one's made by Icon Motorsports, so should fit pretty well. I think it's a little warped from shipping, but hopefully when I screw it on, it should be fine. These will officially be the first holes in this bumper. But the JDM lip I'm planning to get is actually a half spoiler, so it would cover about this half of the bumper. So I'm not too concerned with holes on the bottom. I mean, I've never been concerned with that anyway. So I figured this is the time to drill in a new lip. So this one is pretty thick, so I'm gonna lose a little bit of ground clearance, but I think this car still sits a little higher than my Impreza, so should be able to get around town just fine. So I'm gonna pan over slowly here and show a sneak preview of the TEs on the car. Again, if you follow me on Instagram, you've probably already seen this, but here we are, guys. I'm gonna get better shots outside, but this is the TEs on my Toyota 86. As you can see, fitment is tight. I'm just go through and wipe down the bumper because this side's gonna sit here. I'm really hoping it's not gonna scratch it or anything, so. But if it does, at least the half spoiler should cover it when I get that. I mean, honestly, I kind of like this black and white contrast, so I might keep this for a while depending on how things go. I'm going to try to mock this up with some jack stands and the jack. I don't think the fitment's 100%, unfortunately. I thought these bottom pieces would mold better to the bumper, but it could just be the heat. So just a rough mock up here. There's actually no pre-drilled holes on this lip at all, so let's not screw this up. But it's just going to be right about here. You see this bottom piece is supposed to kind of go up there, but doesn't seem to want to do that. But yeah, kind of have to find the center point of this lip and then kind of go from there. So we're gonna have to get this first try because I wish it fit better. I might try to just hold it up with my hand and tape it to get it to the corner, and then hopefully it lines up okay. So the tape doesn't even stick because I have the thing ceramic coated, but I believe I got the fitment to where it should be. So this line right here goes with the body. Although here's where the fitment kind of sucks. I wonder if it's just because there's no screw there, but I think if I force the self-tapper up here, it should hold it there better. Yeah, it does fit along the side pretty nice, so I'm probably gonna get the sides screwed on first just to keep this line. Here it is on the other side. So fitment's like an 8 out of 10. These corners are a little bit tricky, but hopefully when it's screwed on, you won't even notice that. The key is to get these corners lined up. So I'm gonna drill a couple self-tappers. Now normally I do also bolt on the lip to the bumper via bolt and nut, but I don't want to take off this bumper right now because I've heard once you take off the bumper, it leaves a permanent gap, so I'm trying to prevent that as much as I can. But I think where it's at should be good. I'll double check, of course. This is going to change the whole profile of the car. I feel like the front lip should be the first mod, at least in terms of looks. Kind of have to wing it here. This corner bolted on first, so I'm going to just hold it flush up against the bumper there. Just do a couple screws here and there. this out, guys. That is nice. It's actually pretty good. Once we screw these corners on, it's actually not a bad fit at all. So ignore my comments earlier about the fitment. It's actually gonna be pretty decent. I think this will look better painted for sure. And it's a pretty thick lip, I think. I mean, should add a nice bit of lowness to the front end. So I guess I gotta be Stance Nation once again with this lip, but it'd be okay. So I'm gonna get the corners and all around, and this thing should look pretty cool. Alright, you guys ready? All the screws are on now, so let's just drop the car on the floor. So this lip actually fits a 9 out of 10. There's actually some small indentations along the inside of the lip for you to put your screws at. I didn't see that until like halfway through. So I guess I do have a few more extra screws in there, but man, this lip makes such a difference to any car. Now I'm a little more aggressive in the front. And I think we're still at a pretty functional sort of thing. This car still sits higher than my Impreza, so I can still get over everything. Now we got a nice looking front lip to go along with it. Yeah, I'm sure the suspension has to settle a bit, but there it is, guys, the front lip. So like I said earlier, I'm gonna go outside and get some better shots of the car overall, but yeah, we got the front lip installed. I actually recently ordered some genuine TRD Koki 86 side skirts that will be coming from Japan, so who knows when they'll get here. So I'm trying to get all the basic aesthetics out the way. Of course, this is nowhere near its final form per se, but just something to get started. I feel like I want the car to look decent before I start to dive into the performance mods. Yeah, the front lip looks really good. Definitely gonna get it painted for sure. Can't wait till the side skirts come in. It's gonna complete the whole side of the car because it's definitely missing the whole rocker molding. So it's gonna look way more aggressive when the TRD side skirts are on. Now earlier in this video I said I did install the lower control arms and the end links, so I'm gonna show you guys that real quick. So we go underneath here, hopefully you guys can see this. There are the Blocks Racing adjustable lower control arms as well as the cardboard end links. Kind of hard to see, but got my alignment today. Was able to get all the adjustment I wanted. So right now the rears are negative 2.7 degrees camber. They are the same on both sides. So the reason why these didn't fit initially was I didn't have the right hardware. So these actually initially came with some skinnier bolts, but unfortunately I did not have those, so it did not fit the car. So I went to Ace Hardware and got some bolts to bolt this onto the hub, and it worked out perfectly. So we were able to get our camber adjusted exactly to where I want it. Believe it or not, this thing does not rub at all. So there is a rear bumper tab back here, but that kind of grinds itself down as you hit bumps and whatnot. People say to leave it, let it clear into itself. You can also Dremel it out if you want. I decided to let it clear itself out. Yeah, I did rub on that initially, but the fender itself got plenty of room right here. These are untouched, unrolled, and I plan to keep it that way. 'Cause honestly, I don't want clap fenders on this car, because the Impreza is a little wavy. This I want to leave as smooth as possible. But yeah, we were able to fit these specs in the rear. Heading to the front now. It's a little bit camber gang, I guess. So right now the fronts are at negative 4 degrees of negative camber. So it might be a little more than I wanted initially. I was trying to go for like -3, -3.5, but -4 seems to fit this very nicely. So I actually have a 5mm spacer with these wheels, so the offset is +35 in the front as opposed to +40, and I think it just fits a lot better that way. Same as this side, same thing here. So yeah, I guess it is a little more camber than I'd like, but honestly it should perform pretty well, and the wheel fitment looks good, so I'm all for that. So these are just going to be a temporary setup because, like I said before, ordered some new wheels. They are the same spec as this, give me the same tire size, same offset, same everything. So yeah, it's gonna fit the same, it's gonna look nice. Actually my garage, for some reason, I don't know if it's the floor or whatnot, but this is actually a little lower than what it looks like here. So once I take it outside, I'll show you guys. But yeah, I'm loving how this car is turning out, guys. Super exciting. Alright guys, here it is in outside view. Got the TEs on, got the front lip on. You guys can see it's actually pretty good fitment. So definitely need some paint like I mentioned earlier. But man, I just love how this car looks now. It's absolutely insane. But now that my alignment is dialed, the car handles beautifully. It is freaking awesome to drive. Here's my ground clearance now. I can still fit my foot under there, so this car probably sits just about as high as the Impreza when it was static. You can see it's not too terrible, and it makes the stance look so much more aggressive. So you guys can kind of see from here also the front camber. This is -4 degrees in the front, -2.7 in the rear, like I said before. Definitely a little aggressive for the street, but check that out. 18 by 9.5 plus 40 with a 5mm spacer in the front just to give it a little bit more clearance. So you can see it doesn't really rub. It really rubs right in this corner right here. So I might need to roll this slightly because these fenders are already rolled from the factory, but there is a little bit of a lip right there. Hopefully rolling that shouldn't really affect how it looks on the outside as long as you do it correctly. Back here, it does rub on this tab. You can kind of see it did grind away a lot. So it does not touch the lip at all here, so that is like super tight right there. A couple other goodies I added on the car. Added this OLM roof spoiler. So I kind of had second thoughts about this after I threw it on. You know, I think it needs to be paint matched because I don't know, it might seem a little out of place right there, but at the same time I feel like it adds a nice definition to the rear window here. Since the car is kind of round in the back, figured it would help. Now I do plan to get some sort of duckbill thing. I'm thinking about the TRD OEM spoiler, but at the same time I'm planning on getting a Voltex GT wing on this thing eventually. So I've seen people run both, but I'm still trying to decide what I really want. Yeah, I think the next course of action here is doing something with this fourth brake light on the bottom, since it doesn't really do anything stock. Also, it's a reflective chrome, so it kind of, I mean, it does go well with the white, but I kind of want to do a just tinted out look with that light. Don't really need to stand out or anything, and I think it should look a lot better. Also thinking about what I should do with the rear bumper. I could add some spats here or get a whole new half bumper lip thing, but it kind of depends where we're getting at. Maybe eventually we'll do the Varus bumper, but for now, taking it slow. Don't want to do too much too fast. Here's one last look of the side. I'm not going to do a full model review video of this car just yet until I have a few more parts, but it's looking pretty good so far, guys. I only had this car about 4 months at this point, so definitely have a lot more things on it than I anticipated. But honestly, this car is just so fun to mod, just so many parts, and it's just an awesome car. So the white on white is not going to stay. This is just a temporary setup. I actually might throw these back on the Impreza because I might take it to one last show. I know I said Tuner was the last show, but I might take the Impreza to Boxer Fest. Just one last one for the road. So these will probably make its way back on the Impreza. Actually, I can't really drive the hatch right now because the stock 8.6 wheels barely fit over the Brembos, so actually the Brembos are rubbing against the wheel, and I really don't want to drive it that much while it's in that state. So yeah, and I got impatient about the 8.6 not having wheels, so that's why the TEs are on there. So this red on white theme won't be a thing in a couple months, as we'll have a whole different color scheme, but trust me guys, it should look pretty good still. And honestly, if I ever get tired of that color scheme, I can always go back to the red on white, since, you know, both my cars are 5x100. I don't think I've showed this in the video or any pictures, but turn off this light. Definitely tough to see in this outside light, but I have some one-of-one KATANA style floor mats on both sides. I figured, you know, the stock all-weather mat looked really boring and dull, and since I'm not really driving this car in the snow or anything, I can rock carpet mats, so why not just do a custom print? So that's that right there. I probably won't release these or anything. This is just more for me, unless, you know, there's enough demand, I guess. But yeah, just a nice touch into the interior. Got the Mishimoto weighted shift knob now. I wrapped these door handles carbon. Yeah, so kind of stock in here. Got these TRD neck pillows now. I mean, just basic stuff to just be comfortable. I do want to change out the e-brake, probably invest into a short shifter, but kind of seeing what I want to do. Definitely going to do the Modal Gear 300 fluid here eventually. Yeah, the shifting feel right now is pretty good, so I'm not really complaining, but you may see a short shifter install here in the future, who knows.